spoil it. All right. So we'll talk about that today. We'll talk about that. We'll also talk about Ben Stiller supporting Kamala Harris because he wants change. I guess that still works with some people. And I don't know if you know this, Donald Trump was in the Arlington Cemetery, and people made a big deal about it. He got in trouble. Turns out everything that the media said, complete bullcrap.
Really?
Mostly, I should say.
I never would have thought.
Not necessarily everything. I mean, I'm sure they use like the proper verb tenses in their
fine.
articles. So if at some point today, and sometimes this happens with undercover investigations on YouTube, they simply don't allow it. They don't follow state law, even if it's a single-party consent state. Some point today, you may see this. Head on over to Rumble. It's a live show weekdays at 10 a.m. Eastern. And, of course, all of this will be available to not only share on Rumble, but on X if it does get banned from YouTube. And please do consider sending in your tips if you have some stories. We track them down, lwctips@protonmail.com. A few of these leads and with these stories actually came from you. So we appreciate it. Sometimes insiders, sometimes outsiders. I like both siders. We have Gerald. We have Josh. How are you both?
Doing well, you?
Yes.
Good.
Good. Let's fight.
All right.
Do it.
Let's get into this.
Yeah. Wait.
And a big thank you to everyone who's put in the work here with Mug Club Undercover. It's the best investigative journalism unit on Earth today. So, today, we have a story for you that involves the United Nations. Okay. You know my opinion of the UN. I don't think highly of them. No. At best, it's pretty much useless.
I don't either.
But it also can act as a force for evil. I know everyone likes to say, we are the world, hold hands. There can be nothing bad if we're all unified. I don't know if you look at those mosaics of all those flags and we are the world. You can probably count every third, fourth, fifth, call it 10th flag, and notice that flag wants to exterminate all the other flags preceding it. That's the problem with the UN. Let me give you a few headlines here as examples to set this up. From the Guardian, Washington Post, UN picks Saudi Arabia to lead Women's Rights Forum despite abysmal record.
Oh, man. I really want to hear that Indian accent she got, low-key.
UN peacekeepers fathered then abandoned hundreds of children in Haiti, report says.
She code switched to put on the room.
UN announces 108 new alleged sexual abuse victims in Central African Republic.
Wow. Who could have called it?
Yeah. So a lot of people have criticized the UN. And by the way, if you've criticized the UN here, if we're still on YouTube right now, you could have been removed. Or if you criticize the WHO, you could have been removed. It was a matter of policy.
That's true.
Here actually is one of the detractors of
they're the
UN,
off that
I believe. I'm trying to remember this next clip.
Really? Yeah.
That
they
we have.
That shit? The UN, one of the reasons why
that's right.
They fell out with
Donald
Nigeria
Trump.
Did that coup like last year.
He said in 2019.
Yes, we did.
The free world must embrace.
We've been here for a minute. UN cannot run anything correctly for some reason.
It must not attempt to erase them or replace them. Looking around and all over this large, magnificent planet, the truth is plain to see. If you want freedom, take pride in your country. If you want democracy, hold on to your sovereignty. And if you want peace, love your nation. Wise leaders always put the good of their own people and their own country first.
Hold on to your sovereignty and defend your rights with your life.
Nationalism. That's basically nationalism.
Yeah.
And that's good. Bro, every person should have a sense of nationalism in them. And if you don't, then you shouldn't be a leader for this country.
And that just speaks to, this is how I take it. When he speaks to hold on to your sovereignty, like, yeah, don't let them take your guns. Like, yeah, don't let them take your rights. Because, man, as a lot of people have said, and what is just a plain fact about life is once they take them, best believe they ain't giving them back. They ain't finna take our guns and then be like, we was wrong about that. Here, you guys go back.
Nope. Once it's gone, just like TSA.
On God.
Once it's here, it's here.
That's how it is.
Does not belong to globalists. The future belongs to patriots.
And of course, Donald Trump was shunned for those comments.
Not sure
but
how,
is he right?
Okay.
What do you hear straight from the horse's mouth? That brings us to today's installation of Mug Club Undercover.
Remember when he did the China one, when China was invading, well, pretty much coming over here and
Starting these
weed
weed farms.
Yeah,
and shit.
in Oklahoma, that
The
was
UN.
crazy.
That was a good
It's
one.
the largest international organization in the world. I can say this definitively. They are terrified of Donald Trump getting elected, and they will do anything in their power
shout
to
out.
ensure that that doesn't
69
happen.
is a
I
blessing.
know, that sounds quite democratic. How do I know this? How do I know it for a fact? People at the UN told us just that.
Oh.
So is globalism one of the goals for the UN?
Absolutely. It's a threat to the absolute power of the United States.
One of the defining features of this MAGA movement is the ultranationalism. And one of the main enemies are what they call the globalists. And the definition of a globalist.
Oh, really?
One of the objectives
talks
of the
about
UN is to create an identity of a global citizen.
They create this institution.
We're the globalists. They're all
They own
satanic.
nothing
This is the
and like it.
closest we've ever got to kind of like
I
a
want you to eat the
world
bugs.
government.
You know, the United Nations does not have its own army. Absolutely.
I'm not
Oh,
sure
wow.
the United Nations as an institution is going to survive a second term by Donald Trump. The United States government funds 27% of the UN budget.
Is that more than anyone else?
Oh, by a long stretch.
A United Nations without
Completely subsidized
action
by
of
the United States
backing it up, it's not going to be effective.
It's always us. It's always us.
Of Donald Trump is to
That's why Trump trying to make them niggas pay.
national institutions that somehow level the playing field. It's a movement that is deeply nationalistic. It's America first, America, make America great again, America, America, America. He wants America first.
So does the UN not want him?
Yeah, giving you an army sounds like the most dangerous thing.
Terrified. They're terrified.
So the internal vibe of the UN is like no one wants Trump because of that?
Absolutely nobody wants.
Oh, yeah.
So is
It
the
damn near
UN
makes its own entity once it got its own.
I would say
Yeah.
for 95% of issues related to international peace and security,
You got people that's gonna die about y'all, believe?
All right, the
Crazy.
person you just
Wow.
watched was Jorge Pauletti. Now, I know what happens with these things, and we have plenty more clips for you. They'll try and say, well, it's just some glorified intern. This person is an associate legal officer in the treaty section of the UN Office of Legal Affairs.
went deep
According to the
undercover for
UN's own website, let me read this for you. The treaty section contributes to ensuring transparency of the international treaty framework,
Gotta be
wider
having, like,
knowledge of
spies.
the law of treaties,
Low-key.
and broader
Said, go in there and get
participation
this
in
information.
multilateral treaties
got you,
deposited
I got you.
with the Secretary General. So, intern? Don't think so. They always try to make someone a patsy for the higher-ups. This isn't the last story. This is the opening salvo. Go ahead. Here we have Pauletti telling our journalist, again, you'll see this, you saw some of it in that clip, but reiterating that the UN
Stephen Crowder was
was
Alex Jones and somebody
terrified
loud on
of,
YouTube.
and this is important,
Yeah.
not just Donald Trump,
Almost.
but the MAGA movement. Internationally, you are an enemy.
I work more with the
More
legal
politically
counsel,
correct, Alex Jones.
which is the lawyer of the United Nations.
one of the defining features of this MAGA movement is the ultranationalism.
Nationalism is the enemy of the globalists.
It's a movement that is deeply nationalistic. It's America first, America, make America great again.
What's wrong with that?
And one of the main enemies are what they call the globalists.
Yeah, globalists would be in direct
And the
competition with
definition
nationalists.
of a globalist.
Globalists would be trying to fool you from
I'm not
nationalism.
sure the United Nations as an institution is going to
No,
survive.
you mean
a
it's
second
about
term by Donald Trump.
everybody,
Does
not
the
your
UN
country.
not want him? Yeah, because I remember her
I mean, we are terrified. They're terrified.
So, as usual, the why matters. We make all references publicly available. Well, in 2020, let's talk about the international community. Donald Trump threatened to completely withdraw from the World Health Organization. And in 2017, President Trump withdrew the United States from the UN
guys
Compact on Immigration. And just to be clear, this compact aimed to set a global immigration standard. So the UN wanted to set the standard for the United States. I don't know if you know this, you're the taxpayer, you foot the bill. So let's move on here. Maybe the
Yep,
UN would
that's
be
how it works.
an authoritative governing body, and maybe their fear of Donald Trump
I
and
said,
yourself
man,
Anytime you
would
see
be justified.
this funding approved to be sent to Ukraine or Israel, that's your money.
Yep.
Your hard-earned taxpayers, you done
Look,
spent 40, 50, 60 plus
when
hours
they say
working.
when they say 60 billion to Ukraine, no, not 10 America, not 10 France, Italy, and UK. No, it's all us. So this is why we should be voting against these, and this is why some of these laws or these bills that they try to put in front of Republicans were put down, because they were trying to push more money outside.
If, let's say, you and Donald Trump advocated for abuses of human rights,
So when they
and
tell
the
you
UN
they
had a
took
good
on the
track
border
record.
bill, but they don't tell you where all that funding and spending was being
okay.
going.
Here's Pauletti talking about how global institutions can actively punish Donald Trump.
There are many instances of human rights in which skillful lawyers can take cases in case Trump decides to go completely wrong. One instance is the United
I would just say
Nations.
the indictment against Trump was like, whoa,
But
it's like,
another
bro, some of them
instance
didn't
that I
even
think
stick.
would work even better.
It's like, bro, when I say them indictments against Trump, it's literally like somebody took 92 darts, closed their eyes, and threw them at the dart table and said, all right, whatever sticks, sticks. The 34 just happened to stick.
The Organization of American States. The thing is, they have a very good human rights tribunal system, and the United States is part of that human rights system. So you can bring cases against the United States to that system.
So what he's saying there is that OAS can actually punish Trump if they don't like his immigration policy. And I say this so you understand there are fail-safes in place in case Donald Trump wins. And for the defeatists out there, I will tell you this. This is one of many in a long line of stories, and this is the least authoritative of the people who have a nice package being presented on them in the coming weeks. They are genuinely concerned that Donald Trump will win. They know it's possible. So you better understand that too. Here is Pauletti saying the quiet part out loud, because you've been told that you're a conspiracy theorist. One point in time, we know that YouTube throttled anyone who used the term globalist. But here he is saying that the UN wants one world government.
Okay.
They create this institution, which is the closest we've ever got to kind of like a world government.
The world government,
A world
like,
state.
like a one world government.
Exactly.
So is globalism one of the goals for the UN?
Absolutely. It's to create a space for also the creation of a consciousness of a species, of a planet, of an identity as a planet. One of the objectives of the UN is to
It
create
sounds
an
good, but
identity
the policy that's going to come out of it is terrible.
Of a global citizen?
Yes, of someone who shares an identity, a political identity with everybody on this planet. But it's a threat to the absolute power of the United States.
Why?
Because they don't want an institution over the U.S. telling the U.S. what to do.
The United States government funds 27% of the UN budget.
27%?
Yeah.
Is that more than anyone else?
Oh, by a long stretch.
Apologies for the quick correction. The United States actually pays 1/3 of the UN's total budget.
1/3.
Apparently he didn't know that. Also, to be clear, President Trump did cut funding to multiple UN programs, including some that promoted or helped support abortion overseas. Here's the bottom line. The UN is entirely useless without the United States. It may
That's
as well
why
be
they
called-
try to push that Trump's against abortion, because he stepped out of abortion bills that supported overseas. He's like, look, I ain't even cool with that in my country for real. And they pushing my pen on it. So what you think I'm going to do for supporting it in other countries? I don't even like it in my own. Like, I feel it. He's standing on principle.
the Hey America,
And he
give
still
us more
gave
money,
us our
please
freedoms to do
organization.
so. Crazy.
How do I know that they are useless? Again, here's Pauletti saying it.
Oh.
So is the UN just like
It's up front.
useless now?
I would say for 95% of issues related to international peace and security, yes.
95%
Yes.
related to
It's
international
not
matters?
international peace and security.
International peace and security.
Yes, which is the main goal of of these institutions.
So it's 95% useless for that.
It's 95% useless.
There is very little power that the United Nations has that is not actually the power of its member states. A United Nations without the action of the United States backing it up, it's not going to be effective. You know, the United Nations does not have its own army. Absolutely.
And we'll make all that footage, of course, available individually on Mug Club.
Oh,
Look,
shit.
this is what this comes
Hey, yo,
down
Vlad,
to.
great video.
A lot of people think that local politics, they only affect the United States. The United States sets the standard for the rest of the world.
And make sure to like the video. This
We
is
also
crazy.
provide the funding pretty much for the entire free world. This election, what is at stake? Well, listen to these people. What's at stake? It's not just the United States.
Obviously.
It's the state of the world.
Bro.
It's your personal...
It's everybody's right to have their own, like, governance. It's like, it's sovereignty, bro. They're coming for everything.
freedoms. Donald Trump is a proxy for at least half of this country. It is at least half of this country versus not just a portion of this country, whether it's the radical left, versus international governing bodies who have a plan B, a plan C, and a plan D to ensure that your vote doesn't matter. They want to institute a world government, undercut the United States. They see you, conservative Americans, as the biggest threat to that goal. And they see Donald Trump as the most effective tool, the most effective ambassador of achieving that goal. And what do I mean?
Make sure to like the video, man. We got 300 plus of y'all in here. Let's go.
Serving the interests of the American people over the interests of international governing bodies, largely tied to, let's be honest, socialist countries and economies. Why are they so concerned? Because you have Donald Trump as the only president in modern history who pulled out of UN initiatives when they don't serve the United States interests. He threatened to pull out of the World Health Organization, who, by the way, at that time, if you questioned them, you were removed from YouTube and Facebook and most of big tech.
Like
I know it's going to happen. The UN and those in media are going to throw Jorge here under the bus. They're going to say that he doesn't represent exactly what the UN wants. He was just speaking out of turn. That's what they do. That's their playbook. I encourage you to do so. UN, Washington Post, Mediaite, please, go for it. Everyone else, this story is now live. Mobile, you can share it. Please do on X. If it still is available on YouTube, spread it far and wide. None of this is heard or seen without you, and this is only possible because of you, Mug Club, watching right now. We are not funded by a foreign caliphate like some political channels. We don't have 15 live reads per show. It is viewers like you, and we don't say that in the way that PBS does, where they mean federal funding and occasionally a telethon. Every week, I want you to know this, from now to election, from now to November 5th, we are going to be delivering an undercover piece for you. We've been keeping our powder dry. We've been holding a lot of it back. I have a pretty good idea as to how the media is going to respond. We have a pretty good idea as to the target on not only Donald Trump's back, but your back, Mug Club, our back, here. Everything that we have in the pipeline right now. I don't want to say is of great consequence. It's probably the most important work that we've done here, potentially ever.
Oh, wow.
And by the time we get to November 5th, if you want to understand the forces that be, that have taken up arms against you, hopefully we will remove all doubt. So please do consider showing your support, and none of it happens without you.
Don't know.
Just click that button if you're watching on Rumble to join, or louderwithcrowder.com/mugclub. This season right now, between now and election, is Mug Club Undercover, Stealing a Nation 2024. This is all the culmination of months of tireless work here from the Mug Club Undercover Unit.
And the definition of power.
Ew. You say you dropping an exposing people. Bro, week after week.
And make
sure you send us your tips at LWC Tips at Proton Mail. And one quick thing, we made this really easy for you to share. Go and click the link in the description to share this on X. It auto-populates to share. Get it out there far and wide. Don't let them bury it.
This is the, if you can, this is the smallest of
Yes,
the
sir. We are
investigative pieces. I know, but it's the smallest of the ones that we have. Weird. It's a segment in today's show.
Got you right now.
The ones that will be found will be the entire show.
Definitely on Rumble.
Just
Yeah,
to
we're
be clear.
live right now on
It's like
Rumble,
being next to
actually.
Mount Everest and being like the second tallest mountain. It's like, it's massive.
This man may be the
That's all
least
stakes.
authoritative out of
Yeah.
all the pieces we have
Which is
lined up.
crazy. So
Look
it's
who
very
started it for
authoritative.
this one, at least.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Most important
You
part.
guys are
He
not
does.
gonna believe
It is odd that he sounds kind of Asian, even though I
A little
know
bit.
he's not.
He is a globalist.
United Nation. What?
The
Humanitarian?
The globalist.
Hey,
And yep, right now we are live on YouTube, Rumble, and Twitch, man. So, hey, man, tap in on us on Rumble. Rumble, hey, that's where we got the hard-hitting content. Everything y'all need to know about what's going on really in this government and in the world in general. Because there's a lot of stuff we can't put on YouTube, obviously. And trust me, we go deep.
the last one, I
Pause.
think
No
all
dip.
of this kind of blew my mind a little bit, but 95% ineffective, all that, useless, all that. Should they have an army? That's the one that made me go, what the?
Yeah, but well, here's the good news. Who's going to fund it?
Well, they're just going to take our money right now as long as people still fund it from the freaking
They need an army.
United States.
Yeah, they need an army to help them rape better in Africa and wherever they're Haiti,
That's
wherever they're
terrifying.
raping
A
people.
global army? Are you
Yeah.
kidding me?
With
It's-
their blue helmets.
I was raised in Canada where Johnny Boy and I have talked about this all the time. They go, well, we have socialized healthcare. We'll change one thing, okay? Protect your own borders, go. Oh, isn't it nice, Germany, that you get to declare the free internet a human right? I believe it was Germany. Well, you know, the reason you're able to do that is because you screwed the world over twice, and you don't have to foot the bill to make sure that you don't screw the world over a third time. So enjoy your free internet. Enjoy your free internet, courtesy of America.
They get free internet?
They declared it a human right.
Oh.
I don't know if they ever followed through. You know, it might be like
probably not.
It's
They
probably like
just said,
3G.
"We're working
He
on
never
it."
seen that documentary that shall not be named.
It didn't say it was good.
Like, no, Scheiße, it's mint.
It's
Still
dialogue.
loading the wheel. The wheel of death.
You gave us cricket.
Net zero.
Nine. It's bad enough we have to make our calls on Vonage. I used to get calls. Remember they used to try and sell you Vonage early on? I used to get calls when I had a landline. And they'd be like, Vonage? I said, I'm sorry.
Are
you calling to sell me Vonage using Vonage right now? I heard some scrambled white noise and a click.
You're like, go yourself. I didn't say anything bad.
No. You Vonage did.
didn't.
I did.
Did I forget something as far as I brought you guys in pretty quickly. Hey, here now we get to have a little bit of fun. Okay. Here is speaking of someone who can go Vonage themselves.
Yeah.
New verb now.
This man, I should for those who don't know, I know what you're thinking. Some of you may not be familiar with Ben Stiller. He's a star of Madagascar 3.
Hey.
And 1 and 2. Come on.
I particularly like the penguins because they dance to modern music.
And they do the slapping.
And the lemurs, I think. Or
And
The lemurs?
I think they're
Am I thinking of Zootopia? Which one's the penguin?
They've got both.
Penguins were lit.
Yeah, they got both. They got
It's
it
the
all, baby.
penguins who
That's why
like
they
to
got their
move
own
it.
show.
They go
Lion,
like,
they got a zebra. Yeah, they
That's
move
right.
it, move it. No, that's the zebra.
The penguins were the littest character on Madagascar. That is why they got their own damn show.
Everybody
okay?
remembers just smile and nod. Just smile and nod.
Oh, yeah.
It's the lemurs.
animals with clubs.
Penguins are
the
the
point remains,
soldiers, you know?
it is adorable and clever.
Right.
It is.
Bro,
And I
they made a
think
show
when
with all
people
the
say
main
Hollywood is
characters
out
and
of
left out the main
ideas,
characters.
they have not seen the Madagascar franchise.
And Chris Rock was half white. So that was cool. It was a zebra, yeah.
So Ben Stiller,
So stupid.
had some very inspiring and I will say illuminating comments regarding the presidential election.
You mind answering just a quick question while you came? What you like about Harris' platform?
Just very excited about moving forward and all the energy and excitement that's around this movement right now.
Nah, Ben.
The policy.
It's time
Well,
for
we all
change.
know
It
this
seems
movie
like
starts
it's
heavy
happening.
liberal.
Time for change.
Sustain the momentum.
The Rock,
post-convention?
super.
Sure.
You think the race is going to be close?
It's going to be close, but everybody's motivated to work to make it happen. So, and she and Tim Walz are just incredible candidates.
First off, a couple of things there. I love how his assistant is like, "Sorry, you have to stop. He's too stupid to realize he shouldn't answer this." And
change from
change.
What?
Well, there you have it. Donald Trump is the incumbent. Thank you.
Thanks for the endorsement.
For acknowledging. Does this work? Please comment. Does this in 2024? Does a change thing work at this point? Change. By the way, she doesn't even need to change clothes. She's in office. She doesn't even need to change rooms, really. She's going to move from one end kind of to the other. She's probably already in his office.
She's already in there. She's not moving anywhere, dude.
I guarantee you she spends more time in that Oval Office than Biden. I don't know if you remember, Joe Biden is allegedly still the president. You guys might have forgotten.
Allegedly, purportedly.
He's still a thing.
Arguable.
Has been true for 3.5 years.
After his
Change.
2-week-long hiatus.
What?
Vacationing
From
with
me.
Dr. Biden.
She's starting with the man in the mirror.
I really want to
Decided
move forward.
reemerge and show his face.
From yourself?
That was all BS. That's like all like cliche BS. He sounded like the character from that Fat Cat movie he was in.
Oh, Heavyweights.
Heavyweights, yeah. It sounds like that character. It's all BS. At the end of that clip, you see him just munching down on some.
More of a Zoolander character where he's looking for the files in the computer.
It's just this is all they have, and this is why they are deathly afraid
Trump was making fun
of
of
Donald
him.
Trump, and they are deathly afraid of debates on fair terms and giving interviews or press conferences or answering any questions. And this is what they want. The left wants to run out the clock so that the media, and when you see CNN and all the mainstream media, I want you to understand that ideologically, as well as educationally, as it relates to these issues, this media is identical to Ben Stiller. You watch media, think Ben Stiller, okay? Fairness to him, though, I hate it when there's gotcha.
Yeah.
He was busy. You get distracted. It happens with me. He was preoccupied prior to making those comments.
You know, when I came here to New York, I got an education. I first started coming here about 2 years ago. And I remember about my third trip in, I came on a Wednesday. And, midweek.
Guys, no jokes. It's sad. Guys, no jokes. It's sad.
I didn't know he was father.
People need help. Spit that shit out, man.
I don't think you can from the neck.
I'd rather hear from Jerry Stiller.
No.
That would be fun. I mean, I might not agree, but it'd be fun. You want a piece of me? Kinda.
Why would I vote? So I can go into a booth like the rest of those sorats? What? Change. And by the way, you can join up. I also forgot to tell you at mugclubarmy.com. It's a very closed group mailing list. You will not receive any newsletters. You will not receive any ads. You will not receive anything other than how you can take an active role with not only the investigative journalism, but the election live stream of the century that we're preparing for November 5th. Here's another way that they try and steal this election from you. And we're allowed to say that on YouTube now, which is great. You're allowed to say steal.
Freedom of speech is back?
Steal. No. It's because they want to say that the election is stolen from them.
Oh, that's yeah. Got to keep that one.
So here's another way. They want to lie to you about everything, and we know that. But they specifically, when the lies don't work on policy, this is what's so interesting. I can't remember another time, and Mission Control can fact check me on this, where if the polls are really close, and they are, let's just call them a dead heat right now, okay? On the issues that matter most to Americans, the handling of the economy, for example, the border, inflation, the American public favors Donald Trump overwhelmingly in a way that is not reflected in the dead heat, the polls.
Yeah, which is crazy because you look at the polls, they keep saying, oh, they're neck and neck, but Kamala's up 1 point.
Yeah.
It's like
a lot of the polls do say that.
And it's kind of crazy. I'm like, bro, send me a poll. Like, come on, bro. I've never gotten a poll.
Who are they talking to?
Bro, nobody's really ever done a poll on this chat, most likely. So, shoot.
I'll start
Which means that you have people for the first time that I can remember in my lifetime, and you can correct me if I'm wrong.
So we can send in our poll to
who are saying, I know that this man is better on policy, but the media in Hollywood have tricked me into the cult of personality.
So fuck y'all.
I know that grocery prices will go up with Kamala, and I know they'll go down with Donald Trump. I believe that he'll secure the border more effectively than her, and that's her job. I get it. I think that we'll actually be in a better place economically. But the media says she's really cool.
Jesus.
Those are the and the reason you
vibes,
see,
man.
She's got the vibes
That's
and
right.
joy.
All there.
Joy.
And the reason that you see that gap is because of stories just like this. Now, as soon as I read the initial story, I said, okay, this is absolutely horse shit. Yeah. All right, pardon my language. But I knew the media was going to continue running with this. Donald Trump in Arlington, at the cemetery. So on the third anniversary, to set this up, of the Afghanistan withdrawal, it feels weird saying anniversary
Yeah.
When you're talking about a tragedy.
I don't think there's another word for it.
There is no other word for it.
Yeah.
But it just seems because you expect someone to come out singing "Happy Anniversary." It's like no. That's not one of those. So, third year anniversary of the completely botched Afghanistan withdrawal. Donald Trump actually honored the 13 fallen service members, while Harris and Biden have been not just here, but they've been MIA since the event. And I'll get to the media lying about this and fact checking the media. But here you go. Now, I want you to remember what you just saw. When people on the left say, can't we find common ground? Can't we tone down the rhetoric? Could there be anything more unifying than that?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Think about it for a second. If we can't come together over honoring fallen heroes, and if we actually find ourselves squabbling,
valors,
well, then there's no point in trying to find a common ground. That just means that you're capitulating if you're the only person trying to find common ground.
The veteran topic.
Now, the reason as to why the squabbling matters.
Well, consider what
because immediately after Donald Trump did that,
veterans,
media started squabbling.
Bro,
there is a
come on. What's the bigger spit in the face of veterans when you trade out a basketball player for a
war veteran? I mean, a war criminal.
Yeah. Bro, or remember, what was our other? We remember there was actually our guy who's actually a veteran who's a soldier.
Who we left over there.
Yeah, well, we could have traded him. We could have traded it out for him. But say we chose a gay basketball player who don't even
America.
who hates America.
That's crazy.
Growing controversy over the Trump campaign's visit to Arlington National
Send her back,
Cemetery
man.
earlier
Let's
this
get,
week.
bro.
The family of a
Let's get
Green
the other guy
Beret
back.
who's buried
Our
at
guy.
Arlington National Cemetery is not happy.
Out there doing good
about
Spire.
Donald
He got
Trump's
caught
photo
up
op near
so,
his
but
grave.
hey, he's still American.
This photo has sparked
One of those family
controversy
members?
between Arlington National Cemetery and the Trump campaign. Both parties admit there was an incident on the hallowed grounds.
Okay. Also, here's the thing, too. Whenever the left tries to feign outrage over patriotism, you know it's bullshit.
Yeah.
These are the people who won't even wear pins, American flag pins, at their own convention. Okay. So we should respect our troops more than that. Shut up. You don't know what you're talking about. What was that, Gerald?
No.
Did something just come in?
No.
So they then, of course, crafted a narrative, and I'll disabuse you of that narrative. But before we get to that, this is not the first time, you know this, the media has been outraged when Donald Trump has done good things. We've covered them quite a bit, like the time he tried to help some sick kids. Yeah, look at that. I mean, come on, New York Times. Is there no shame?
I mean, jeez.
Or when he declined the presidential salary. That was a big one. And the media, there you it's just $400,000 for chumps who should just die. I don't believe he said that.
It's written, though.
It is written.
It is.
To people on audio. They're like,
quoted it.
Never like they got to add a little flair
when he-
to it. Like, yeah, he denied the presidential salary because he's already a self-made billionaire.
Yeah.
But they added the flair of, it's for chumps. Like, come on, he didn't say that. He didn't add that.
Yeah, he just said, I'm not going to take money from the people.
Like, why would I? I don't need it. I'm here to lead. I'm
Unlike
here to...
these career politicians, who do this for a living, like Kamala Harris.
He was an actual hero and saved people's lives.
No, Kamala ain't turned down that VP salary.
Okay, all right, you got us on a technicality.
It was fine.
New York Post.
It was 5. Okay,
What a
fine.
dick.
Fine. It was fine.
That was one, and they...
Fact check. Trump did not save 6 people from burning building. It was 5? What? Hey, yo, it's like...
Anything to discredit this man.
Anything. He added one more person. It's like, it don't matter.
He's a liar.
Shoot, that weight probably felt like 5.
Okay, all right, you got us on a technicality.
6.
It was fine.
New York Post.
It was 5. Okay,
What a
fine.
dick. He
Fine.
didn't get everybody.
Fine.
On audio, this makes 0 sense.
That's okay.
Those are
Come watch the
pictures
show.
accompany them. So let's go through this exactly. And I don't want to go point by point because it's so silly, but the media just won't let it go. As soon as I heard the NPR news briefing, I went, oh, they think this is a winning issue for them. So here's the claim that they were making, okay? Donald Trump was not supposed to be at the Arlington Cemetery, and his aides went in, assaulted staff members for no reason, and he was completely violating protocol by campaigning and taking pictures, which is against the rules, no decorum. Can you believe it? Donald Trump waltzed in there, uninvited. His staff was a good way to people who were just tending to gravestones. And then he was basically the Logan Paul of Arlington Cemetery.
He did a cartwheel, I heard.
I heard he did a cartwheel.
Well, that was after he shit on a grave.
Yes.
Quail for America. Who still
We did it. Wow.
America's
So
oath.
it's
very acrobatic.
Here's the truth.
This is how they hype it up, bro.
Gold Star families were the ones who invited Donald Trump to the ceremony. And then Arlington tried to refuse it, tried to keep Donald Trump from ever entering the cemetery, even though the families really wanted him there. So then the Speaker, Mike Johnson, had to intervene, and the families, of course, were very happy, thanked Donald Trump for being in attendance.
Wow.
No one was
And they try to,
assaulted
like-
as far as the Arlington staff.
So pretty much they try to not make him a man of his word. So then if they was able to stop him and
They
he
could come in the media
and say, oh, he lied to them, he gave them hope and all that, see what type of president he is, it's like, yo, they were trying to make him a bad guy no matter what. And then if he came out and said, yo, y'all stop me, he like, look at him, he makes excuses, that's all he does, make excuses. I'm like, whoa, y'all be so quick to just throw this man under the bus. But you know, that Trump derangement syndrome is real though.
And they then requested Donald Trump to take pictures with them. This is an example of people trying to put him in a no-win situation. He's invited. He accepts the invite. You try and start a scuffle when he accepts the invite, then claim that you were assaulted, which didn't happen. Then when he's there with the families, of course, I guarantee you, Mr. President, could we please take a picture? Do they look unhappy? If we can bring that image back up, do those families look unhappy? Do they look like they're being exploited? Do they look like they're being abused? They are the ones who asked for the picture. He was there by invite, he did the right thing while he was there, and he accommodated the families who invited him while he was there. Let me read you a couple of, and all the references are available at lighterwithcredit.com. Chung actually posted an email from Arlington confirming the access that was granted to Trump's photographer, because that's the last piece here where they're trying to say, well, maybe he could have been there, he was with the families, maybe he didn't assault anybody, but he didn't have the right to take pictures. Here's the email. Only former President Trump may have an official photographer and or videographer outside of the main media pool.
Wait, so the main media is allowed to have cameras?
Yeah, and Donald Trump's allowed to have one,
So
at least.
the main media is allowed to exploit this?
Yes.
Hey man,
Hey,
shout out
appreciate
Vladstein.
Vladstein, man.
Drill baby drill, make America independent again. Yeah, on God on our resources, cause bro, you know how much stuff we actually use oil for besides just gas? There's so much thing we use crude oil for. And the fact that it's expensive, it doesn't just raise the prices of what you put in your car. It raises the prices of, I ain't gonna lie,
Energy costs.
some of your beauty products in a way, the petroleum and all that. Yeah, that comes from that crude oil.
Energy costs in general are directly tied to how much oil we can get from, you know, fracking and all that good shit. Y'all over here wanting these wind turbines, but y'all don't realize those are really inefficient in the grand scheme of things, and low-key just require a lot of maintenance. They're expensive to run and keep up over time.
And they don't produce much electricity as we would hope.
This is inefficient. There's more efficient ways to run a country for energy.
Drill, baby, drill.
But Donald Trump isn't. Okay.
Well,
I see how it works.
It's all about where he was, and they were not supposed to be over there. What, the email
shout
right
out
there
last
says
team,
this.
man.
Yes.
Supporting the chat.
Come on.
Supporting the show. Man.
This is how they steal a nation from you. Is they get you to believe enough lies cumulatively
Ardent supporter.
that you no longer know what is true. And then they gaslight you and tell you about fake news on the right. Look, no one gets everything right. We've made mistakes here. For crying out loud, we have an admonish button. The difference is we make the references publicly available to you, and we actually have shame.
I have lots of it.
When we make a mistake.
Yeah, what is he supposed to do? He's in a situation, they invite him, he goes, Mr. Trump, will you take a picture with us? Absolutely not. Like what?
Absolutely not. Look, I would, but I'm too busy assaulting the grave
Selfish
keep.
as they try and make Trump out to be, like, that doesn't even sound like something he would ever say. He shows up to an event for victims, and he denies a photo opportunity. I mean, think about it. That's not even a good look for a politician, period.
I mean, like,
and just who we know Trump to be. He's somebody who just stands by the citizens.
It's damn near cartoonish at how bad they try to paint his character. Like, come on now. It takes a crazy human being to show up there at a grave and just start desecrating stuff. Like, y'all really said that? Like,
who would ever do that, for one?
Like, come on now. And like, bro, who would ever really buy that? That's what I'm saying. There's some people who got woken up to the idea of like, oh, well, you said this man desecrated graves, and hold on. Nobody's going like, oh, we hate him. The family ain't going there crucifying him. So hold on, somebody's lying. Because y'all saying he did one thing, but he's not seeing the repercussions of what you're saying he did.
It's Trump derangement. You have to borderline hate this man to believe some of the stuff they tell you about him.
Oh, God. And they go, oh, well, he's a billionaire and all that, bro. I don't care if he's a billionaire. He's not going to get away with desecrating graves.
I don't give a damn.
I promise.
Military veteran graves?
Oh, yeah, I promise you. He won't.
Ain't nobody going for that.
Oh, God, it is. Yeah.
But the story they trying to paint, though, they'd have had y'all believe that he just stood on that mug and wiped his feet on it.
What?
Some of y'all don't have a clue.
Well, he is a national hero.
He is, yes. I would run too if I see him. Yeah, so I guess it's fair.
But you want to talk about handling this.
Appreciate that support, Blasting.
Kamala Harris's campaign, they immediately tried to politicize the issue. This is what bothers me most. Do you think that Kamala Harris
just for
doesn't
energy.
know that this is a lie? Just like when Barack Obama came out and said that women made 77 cents on the dollar. Do you believe he didn't have access to Google, to Bing, to every economist who's ever existed saying, well, that's not true?
When I tell you
the
that.
main uses is for vehicles, buildings, and to produce electricity.
Yep. So oil is low-key our economy at a certain point. We need to have our own oil. Because oil won't just bring down, the car price, what you're paying at the gas pump, but it's going to bring down a lot of other things too, trust me.
The industrial sector uses it as a raw material to make products such as plastics, polyurethanes, solvents, and hundreds of other intermediate and end-user goods. And if you think about it, and if you know a little bit about production and manufacturing, plastics, polyurethane, and solvents, that's in everything we have.
Yeah.
Bro. All the products that we have from Amazon, all of the shit we use in our day-to-day life are made with plastics, polyurethane, and solvents.
Which shouldn't be like our water bottles because plastic gets in those. But
I mean, they are though. Shit.
Yeah. Man.
Come on now, like literally everything we use could almost be defined as being made with one of those materials.
That's an old tired trope, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
no,
man,
of course
on, man.
she knows
We got
that
you
this isn't true.
Blasting,
That didn't stop her from immediately politicizing it, saying it's pretty sad. It's not surprising coming from the Trump team.
That's what Trump did.
Let's just let J.D. Vance respond.
He had our oil
those 13
stockpiled
Americans lose their lives.
So much so to the point where the Biden administration had to go into the stockpiled oil Trump put up to lower and alleviate gas prices. You remember that said?
Yep, and then what's so
I think,
crazy?
like this time a year or so ago,
there was a rumor coming out that Biden was punishing the people because he was losing in the polls. So he's all right, fuck it then. Since I'm losing, I'm gonna make gas prices go crazy. Cause bro, there was one part in that summer where gas prices looking real low. It was damn near below $3, and all of a sudden it just shot back up. As soon as you heard Biden was losing in the polls. Like crazy work. But let's hear what JD got to say though.
JD Vance respond.
But to have those 13 Americans lose their lives and not fire a single person is disgraceful. Kamala Harris is disgraceful. We're going to talk about a story out of those 13 brave, innocent Americans who lost their lives. It's that Kamala Harris is so asleep at the wheel that she won't even do an investigation into what happened. And she wants to yell at Donald Trump because he showed up. She can go to hell.
He caught himself. He was about to say she can go screw a mayor.
You
don't
run that it was on the prompter. It's not his fault.
It makes me like him more.
That would be screwing
It
down
does.
at this point.
He's taking this one personal, though, I think.
Yeah.
He's usually much more composed.
Yeah.
I think. Go to hell. That's personal.
College days.
Well, I
man.
think
College days.
he's also pissed off at the stupidity of this story, right? And it wasn't just Kamala Harris's
I don't think it's stupidity. I think it's a complicity that he's pissed off.
Exactly. And maybe that's what I meant by stupidity. Like, he knows that the media is running cover for her right now, and she gets to kind of tailwind in this and go, oh, yeah, I can't believe that they would do this at Arlington. Maybe if you hadn't said, hey, I was the last person in the room on the Afghanistan withdrawal, and yes, I'm still happy with it, to Dana Bash, by the way, and took ownership of that, maybe he would be like, oh, okay, well, no, of course she's going to get to the bottom of this. Of course people got fired for the decision-making that went into this and that led to the loss of 13 Americans. Plus, the thousands of other people that helped us out over there that probably have ended up dead, and the women who can't drive, go to school, I don't know, sing in public, I think is a new thing.
Well, to be fair, no one could know that the Taliban would renege on their women's rights promises.
Usually they keep their word. You're right.
Well, we were hoping after 20 years we had gotten rid of the bad guys.
Yeah.
No.
We are the world.
Yes. They should say we are the United States. The rest of the world should sing we are
We'll
the
make
U.S.
$5
Be more like
trillion
us.
for a reason.
We are the world. We hold hands with
Just
everybody,
gas
including the
purposes.
Taliban, the Ayatollah.
No, I'm not the manifest citizenship here.
No, we are not.
We are one world.
Just pick out the flags on that We Are the World that would nuke all the other flags.
That's true.
Nope.
It's the stupidest shit. I'm sorry. It's like you've never gotten out of kindergarten. Do you not understand? It just takes one that doesn't want to be a part of your world. And there are many.
Or just, it takes all of them not wanting to let one.
We got about 370 y'all in the chat, man. Make sure to like the video. Let's get us to 250. And if you have any questions or comments, man, you want to inform the chat, tell a joke, man, set up a poll, go ahead and super chat in $1 plus, man. We appreciate your support. Let's get back to the video.
W stream, man. It's about to hit 3 hours, man. We've been having an informative, entertaining discussion and debate in the chat, so let's keep it going. Like the video, let's get it pushed in the algo. Let's keep the stream going.
Yo,
retain their constitutional rights.
Yeah. And by the way, the person who allegedly was assaulted has declined to press any charges, but and this is the new narrative you'll see, is because they're afraid of retribution from the Trump team.
Ah,
yes. Or the Trump supporters.
Yes, because
like, come on.
Appreciate everybody in the chat, man. Make sure to like the video.
The entire media,
stream,
Hollywood,
man. It's been about
and
3 hours.
the
We appreciate
current
y'all.
vice president backing your bullshit story.
No.
Oh,
I feel good about putting that story out. Like,
well, you have the
good about that.
The UN, which we just covered, right? You have the UN. They don't want Donald Trump to be president. The media doesn't want Donald Trump to be president. Obviously,
know
Kamala
that.
Harris and Tim Socialist Walls, they don't want Donald Trump to be president.
Yeah, we know.
So they create a story that we know is false.
If you ever seen a Kamala rally, that's their stand. That's their chant.
That's the
their
slogan.
mantra. We won't go back. We won't go back. They chanted at every Kamala Harris rally.
As if going back is not a good thing.
Like sometimes, bro, I think it's like in direct combatant to Make America Great Again. Because to Make America Great Again, what does that infer? We need to go back, right?
Yeah.
Kamala Harris's whole slogan is "We won't go back." It's actually quite masterful.
So it's been proven false. The media will carry it anyway, and they go, please.
It's almost like Black Lives Matters and
all
All Lives Matter.
Bro,
literally.
We know is fake.
Like, okay,
Hey, if
we
you
see you
assaulted,
Black Lives Matter
there's
and raise
video
you.
footage. Release
All
it.
Lives
Go.
Matter.
I'm like, oh,
Unedited.
Okay.
Release
Touche.
it. No tricks. You were assaulted? Show it.
Quite the play.
They don't.
I think they were pissed off at the optics. The Dems were pissed off that it looked like, wait, we don't care. Neither one of the vice president or the former vice president was there at this memorial. And they were the people directly responsible for that event. Now, I understand they can't be there every single time or whatever, fine, but they weren't there. They were invited, potentially. They didn't show up.
The process
Donald Trump was invited. They didn't want him to show up. They
Black
said, you know
Wall
what they said?
Street,
Scheduling conflict.
What does that even mean? The scheduling conflict? It's a cemetery.
It's a cemetery. It's
What's
exactly
your schedule look like? You can't.
Listen, what else is on tap?
JFK's flames.
If you want to get into the technicalities of it, okay.
Well,
I ain't never been
I
out
only
there
hold
in
my
the
breath
oil rig,
once per
but-
day.
What are you telling me?
I don't know. The Tomb of the Unknown Soldier is the changing of the guard is going to take up the whole day and the whole place.
Gosh, my plate is full with 39 days of not giving a single interview or press conference. So maybe I could pencil you in between telling people I'm not vice president
Extraction
and
of
that I'll
resource.
change from the
Gas,
vice
oil.
president I'm not. It's pretty full.
And drinking. You got to include time for Chardonnay.
Well, I didn't remember to put that down because I forgot about it because I'm drunk.
So you took care of that.
Love that statement too, by the way. The
claim to know it all, but shit.
What'd you say? She said typical
right
of the
about most
Trump
of this
team.
It's not surprising.
Not surprising comment. Like if you just take out the pretty sad part, that's just that. It's not surprising coming from the Trump team that they went
to
visit the families of fallen soldiers of botched withdrawal. Typical Trump.
Yeah.
Supporting Gold Star families. What an asshole.
Closer than you'd expect.
Just take away the pretty sad.
Yeah,
right.
take away. I mean, it is it's pretty sad that I didn't think of it first.
It's not surprising that he would visit Gold Star families at request. I mean, I wouldn't do it.
And some of the families in the pictures have actually already commented.
That's
said,
right
like,
on par.
We wanted to memorialize this occasion as we honor. Like, none of this makes any sense to me.
I'm sure they would have loved to have. We just forget that Biden exists.
I know.
I'm sure she would love to have the president of the United States, former vice. Anyway, whatever. They want to have him. They want to have him there.
Yes.
They want to have the acting president, Kamala Harris. They want her there.
Right. Yes. Yeah. I don't. But the problem is if Joe Biden showed up, someone would be like, "Oh no," and show him to his grave.
Yeah. Why would he have an Arlington grave?
He's like, "Sir, you're early for your appointment."
Some witch doctor waving chicken bones. Back to sleep. And he would do it too. He'd be like, "Okay."
Well, it does look comfortable.
Fold his arms.
Is that a Serta?
get my girl in the casket. He needs his glasses.
He doesn't wear glasses.
By the way,
stutter. Stop it.
Before we go, you can go see Josh September 19th at the Big Laugh Comedy Club in Fort Worth, Texas. JakeFirestein.com.
The storytelling show. It'd be fun.
Yeah, I think people are going to have a good time there. Better time than cemeteries. They're not that fun.
No.
I mean,
sometimes in horror films.
In October, they're fun.
Yeah,
it's all good, Blasting. It's all good.
Behind
it's
one.
all good.
Yeah, I guess behind one.
Was it cheap real estate?
No, I mean, no, it was reasonably priced, but yeah, it was like in a park, and then there was like a hill, went up to the cemetery, and during the winter time, it would snow, and we'd go down. We called it the slopes.
Let him run.
You sled through a cemetery?
No, not through the cemetery.
Well,
it was
it's also
just
distasteful that it was a cemetery for those in internment camps in World War II.
No, they were just there.
Here in the United States. A lot of Tanakas.
Sure, one body flew
A lot
out.
of Mr. Fuji's in there.
Deeper, more definitive definition of fracking, my friend.
This is Tacoma. There is
Old
an old
slant graveyard, they call it.
there is an old Japanese graveyard.
Now you dipping now. All right, Bob.
I understand. Have a great night. All right, G.
Yeah, he wore
Sit on
his
this point, I guess. He died on that horse.
There
All
are
right,
no
man.
Japanese graveyards in Japan.
He said, "Nah, bro, I'm dying on
There's a
it." You
couple.
dying on it? Yeah, I'm dying on
I'm
it.
going out on my shield.
He wore his Attack the
All
Black
right,
shirt
but-
from Aspen, too, and it was like, that's just come on.
So,
Racist.
again, we appreciate everyone who's helped make this happen. Today is just the tip of the iceberg. This is the opening salvo as far as the Mug Club Undercover series, Stealing a Nation 2020.